Okie doke, no shortage of things to talk about this week, so welcome to 2023 in terms of weekly news. What should we talk about first? Mike and Lorna's car. So, Pee-wee, fresh back from, well, fresh last year, back from the Istanbul, the major complaint, I think, was that the door handles were dreadful. Well, of course, you've probably already seen my videos that we now produce the latch that makes that good. So we've now come up with a price for that latch, so £38 for the pair of latches, sorts out the PV floppy door handle. So that's really good and pleasing. And then there was a nasty buzzing that Mike reported, and the buzzing, I'm pretty sure, was all to do with the fractured alternator. Adjuster bracket had fractured at the alternator, so almost certainly that was the buzzing. So we've got one last task here. Service is almost done. We just got to have a look over the brakes. And sorry, Deke thinks he's found a mouse over in the boxes over there. We'll have to sort that out later. Deke the Brittany. Yes, you definitely think, in fact, both of them think they found a mouse. So that's sorted, but also both he and Emma in test driving feel that the front suspension doesn't feel quite right. So I need to look at that and identify what is going on there, what is happening. So that's the only task left, quite a small one really. Well, it's sort of small, I mean, with the PV suspension, I've probably pretty much got to take the different components, release the different components from each other to feel what each of the bushes is doing when it's relaxed rather than under spring tension. Okay, so that's Mike's car, hopefully only another day's work. So Gareth's car, start of the season coming up next month. Are we out on 2 events next month, Emma? There's first of all the Tour of Cheshire, start of the season, and imminently after it, there's the Isle of Man. And then quickly followed by, is it the North Yorkshire perhaps? Anyway, 3 events in probably less than 6 weeks. And we had hoped, we had told Gareth that we could convert correctly the B18 single circuit brakes to twin circuit. There it is, there's Volvo's twin circuit B18 master cylinder. Very rarely seen, we've never seen it on a car. But very frustratingly, come and look at why it doesn't work on a right-hand drive. This will be beautiful on a left-hand drive car, doesn't work on the right-hand drive. So, we open up, and there's our right-hand drive master cylinder. Okay, this mounts directly in, but then if you look at the 2 outlets which come out inboard, you can probably get away with the rearmost outlet clearing the air filter. Not, in fact, yes, you clearly can, but there's not a chance with the front outlet. There we go, so there's the rear outlet. The front outlet is going to go straight interfere on the air filter. So, at the moment, I'm talking to Past Parts. Well, I say I'm talking to, trying to elicit any response out of Past Parts by email isn't the easiest task. But trying to see if there's anything we can find that comes out either end on or side, or comes out the right hand side, and then that will sort us out. We can do twin circuit brakes on the B18 car, much in the way that Volvo intended. I mean, one possibility is the Beetle, but the Beetle has a horizontal flange, and that would therefore mean making an adapter plate, and I don't know, brake systems, I'm not sure I want an adapter plate on there, but, well, maybe not, we'll see. So, there we go, that's a disappointment there. So all I've got to do now is to service Gareth's car. Good, that's that one. Oh yes, Mike's car. Let's just go back to Mike's car. Okay, so one of the big problems Mike had on the Istanbul was it was getting hot. And bearing in mind this is a B16 car converted to B18, and it has the early B16 radiator, not the later type one. they'd put a Super X 3-core radiator in there, which we have found in our experience to be less efficient cooling than the original 2-core, and therefore couldn't fit a mechanical fan. So they put an electrical fan on. Now, we've always had problems with electrical fans. They're absolutely fine on a track car, a race and track car. I can fully understand why you'd want to release the extra horsepower there by having an electric fan, but on a rally car, just doesn't work on our cars, on the Volvos. And so we had to send this away. Our specialists then put in the original 2-core rad, which then allowed us to squeeze in only just the 5-blade asymmetric fan. So my guess is now they will not have a problem with cooling. So hence I've deleted the electric fan, and that's where we're at. So I'm really pleased about that, because as I say, I can't stand electric fans in our cars. They never seem to work nicely or reliably or consistently. So we have solved this in the rally car. And what else then? So, look at this. So Amy's car is still under wraps, but our shipment from California arrived 2 days ago. And here we have Amy's B18 140 engine with S599 grind on the camshaft, spec'd to rev at 7,000 RPM. We're going to have a 5 kilogram flywheel on the back here. Anything else to say about this? I mean, the chambers have all been balanced up accurately. Obviously all the reciprocating weights as usual balanced up, as is our way with competition engines. This should be a really sweet B18, possibly the sweetest engine I've ever built, because of those balanced chambers up in the head. So that needs to go in sharpish, because I'm fed up of having Amy's car just sitting here. I can't stand my own cars being dead. I like to get, in fact, I can't stand any cars in this workshop being dead. I like to get them going again quickly. That's got to go in to Amy's car. And so we talked about PV latches. That was exciting this month. And today, so still on the subject of 140s, today I went to see Richard Bensley at Competition Fabrications, the most extraordinary, as his sign says, collection of craftsmen, machinists. And this here, let's just open it up, is our 140 uprated wishbone. Now, don't get hung up on the fact that it's uprated, since 140 wishbones are unobtainable anyway. If you've got a dodgy wishbone or a damaged wishbone, then this is perfectly good for, this is absolutely accurate, and therefore will be a good road item. But what makes it an uprated one is these oval tubes mean that they're a lot stronger than the original item. The weight is about 2/3 of the original wishbone, therefore that critical function of unsprung weight is reduced, which is absolutely imperative when you're trying to make a car handle as well as you can. So unsprung weight is reduced, and it comes with an uprated bottom plate here to avoid the stress fracturing, fatigue fracturing of the shock absorber bottom mount, which is a common failure in the 140. Incidentally, just in case you've missed it, these are the plates that we make to weld to your original wishbone if you want to avoid these bottom nuts fracturing out under rally conditions. So you seam weld those in place on the bottom cup. But this, I reckon, doesn't need it because we've uprated the gauge of metal in the spring seat. So there we go. The first batch of 5 pairs. It cost us a fortune. It was over £1,000 to generate the first pair. that has been running on Amy's 142. So that first pair, which is running impeccably there, bearing in mind this is the car that was the fastest on the Rally of the Tests in 2021, under the hands of Dan Willen with Neil Frost, beating the 911s and Escorts on the event by quite a margin. And then, whilst she was competitive for 3/4 of the Rally of the Tests in 2022, was once again fastest car, beating the 911s and Escorts and all sorts of machinery. Unfortunately, she then ingested that air filter bolt and was out of the rally. So we have got some miles on this, and we've got nothing that concerns us, but that is the prototype set on Amy's car that we trust enough to put on her competition car. So we've got 5 pairs in right now, all of which are answered for. If you think you could use a pair, please contact us. And if I can get interest in from 5 customers, I will have another batch made. So it's really just for the benefit of 140 owners that we've done this. Okay, that's that and that. I think that's it for the week. So I need to get Gareth on the ramps and do his service so he can pick up the car. Then we'll finish off Mike's car, and then I'll get Amy's car on, and we'll get the 142 running again. And just before we go, for those that haven't observed this, this is a genuine Volvo aluminium bonnet. When we got it off Dave, wasn't it? Dave sold it to us very kindly about 10 years ago. And it is a very treasured item, aluminium 140 bonnet. Just wish we had a boot lid as well in aluminium. Okay, thank you very much.